Hi, Joe Garris here. Want to walk you through today how to find your replay page, how to find your replay email and how to schedule that email to your database, and also how to find your invite email and how to schedule that and send it out to your database as well. And so the invite email and the replay email and the replay page, we add a new one each week. So the first thing you want to do is click on Site Manager here. And as you see, you'll be able to see a lot of different pages. So we keep the pages in your system. To find your actual invite page, you would either type in agent-mastermind if you are on our full version of our system, or if you just type in index, INDEX, then you'll find that squeeze page and you can click preview. To find the replay pages, we actually name them AMM replay, so you can search over here and you can see all the messages. And then we also put a date so the date of the class. So in this case, 05, I'll just do 051314. I just started typing that in and it started pulling up the page, so I can stop when it's pulled up one page and I know that's the correct one. To look at this page, I can just click preview here. And as you can see, it's going to pull in the one class. It's going to have your Agent Mastermind header, which is, you can actually modify this. You can put a graphic in, or our support team can do that for you. If you got a graphic design on Fiverr.com, we can add that in for you. And then it will display, we make that change in one place, and it'll display across all of your pages. You don't have to change it every week. So we could set that up. Every week we add this video in for you and this page, so you don't have to do anything on that side. The footer, the same situation here. That's edited in one place, and then it changes across the entire system. So you could copy and paste this link and send it to someone, and then they would have access to this page if you just send it directly through email. If you want to use our broadcasting system to send one email to a lot of different people, then what you do is go here to Contact Manager and then Broadcast. And then we normally try to name the broadcast, the subject line, replay, webinar, class recording. And the newest emails that we add into the system will show up at the very top. So if you click on webinar replay here, this is the latest one in this case. So you can click on edit. The description is just a description for you. It doesn't show up in the messages or anything. If you have an email with the same subject line, you might want to say this is email 2, email 1, something like that. Don't ever change this part. This is email and SMS text. We'll talk about SMS text messaging in another video. Your from name, your from email, you always want to make sure this is a real email, or the system will not send out the email. If it sends out, I guess it sends a test, and if it doesn't receive back that this is a real email, then it will not send out the broadcast. So you want to make sure that's a real email. I don't really recommend Gmail, because other Gmail addresses will see a little notice, because the system will know, Gmail knows that that is not actually from Gmail, that it's coming through another email server. But I find it doesn't really hurt your open rates very much, so it's okay. I do recommend a business email if you can. The subject line, you can make modifications to this. We put one in, and we try to keep the name similar to either the strategy of the class or the class name. And then as you see here, you've got the header. This is, anytime you see these curly brackets, that means it's pulling in information from our database. So we try to make things automated as much as possible. So in this case, you can have an email header. You've got this little tag. Well, it will pull in that information from another part of your system. And so you can use that tag in lots of different places, or in all the emails, and then it will actually populate that content or that image. In this case, you can have an email header image. You can have other actual text, however you want to put it, you can actually have that, and that can be changed in another place, which we have a video on how to do that as well. Same thing here for the personalization. This is pulling in the contact first name. This is pretty much the only personalization tag you're going to use, and you want to make sure that this is intact. Like if this curly bracket was removed, then it would not work. It would actually show this in the actual email. So you want to make sure that this bracket is set up. If you don't have a header, or if you don't have personalization, if you don't have a first name for that person, it'll just show as blank. It'll just say hi, comma. And this one will just show as a blank space up there. It won't actually populate the name here of the curly bracket. Also, here you can see that by default we actually update every week when we add these emails in for you. We create the link to be correct, so you don't actually have to make any changes to it. So if I click on this hyperlink, so I'm just highlighting that, clicking on the little hyperlink button, and you can see that it's actually linking to that page, and it's using what's called site default domain, which is whatever's showing right here for you. That's your default domain. You can have a lot of domains added into the system to use them for different purposes, but you set one as default, and you can go to domains and email and make that change to have a domain as your default. We always try to put in some type of image as well. In this case, we just took a screenshot from the video, and it also is hyperlinked correctly. And then down here, we've got some bullet points of the class, and then another hyperlink here. So really recommend sending out the replays on Fridays. Friday mornings is what most people do. So if I click save here, you don't have to click save, but I just want to show you this. You can click schedule this message. I recommend you always send yourself a test. The one thing about sending a test, you could send it to any email, so the email doesn't have to be in the contact manager. So therefore, the unsubscribe link will not be active. So just so you know that. In all the scheduled emails, there is an unsubscribe link. Someone can click that link and unsubscribe themselves. You don't have to do anything. You will still have some people who email you and tell you to take them off their list. You can usually, they'll reply to your email. You can usually just click on from their email that they sent you, and you can find the unsubscribe link, and you can click it and unsubscribe them directly. Or you can go into your contact manager and just either delete them. I'd normally just delete them if they're going to ask to unsubscribe. Or you can, in the contact manager, there's also a section where you can just set them to unsubscribed. So either way will work. So after we click send a test, and normally what I do is I actually open that in a new tab. So I'm going to go back and show you how I do that. So I'll right click and then open link in new tab, just so the schedule this message is also available. So after I look at the email, then I can click right here and schedule the message. So that's just a little shortcut. You could send it, as I said, to any email, and then you're just going to change the first name to see how the personalization works, and click send test. I also recommend that you add yourself to your contact list, so you actually receive the live email as well. So when you click schedule to send the live email, you click schedule this message, and then you've got an option here to select either multiple contact lists or you can select all contacts if you just have all realtors in that. But if you have prospects, past clients, which you have an unlimited contact list, then what you'd want to do is select one or multiple lists. And so you can have your database segmented. You have realtors A, realtors B, realtors C, and you can select each group. And even if some are overlap, like if you have some realtor A's that are also in realtor, some city, or realtor, like if you had realtor Keller Williams, you had them segmented in those groups, and they were actually in multiple contact lists. The email addresses were in multiple contact lists because of your segmentation. Even if you selected those multiple lists and they had some of the same contacts, that they would only receive one email. So they'd still receive just this one email. The system looks and says, did they receive this email already? Okay, yes. Okay, don't send. So it will go through and recognize that. And I've made the mistake of resending an email to an entire list one time, and it did not send out. So it sometimes can save you. You can schedule this message in advance. So you can schedule it as far in advance as you want to. So if we were going to send it, in this case, at the time of this video tomorrow, we would click this. And then if you select your times are Eastern time zone. So you want to make sure if you want this to go out at 7:30 a.m. and you're in California, then you would just, instead of 7:30, you would set this to 10:30. So that's how this works. And then that will go out at 10:30 your time because it goes out on Eastern time zone. Or you can click send immediately. And when you click send immediately, that goes out within about 15 minutes. So that's how you send these emails. Now, once the email goes out, if I click back to broadcast, I could schedule from this view as well. I can also send a test. And then if I click stats, you'll be able to see after the email is sent, you'll be able to see who opened. You just click on this little link here to see exactly who opened. It'll open them up in the contact manager. So you'll have if you have their phone number in the system, it'll show their phone numbers right there as well. And you can even send them a one-to-one email, which we have a video on one-to-one emailing as well. And let's do the invite. It's same process. So the invites, you'll usually be able to tell because we try to keep the same or very similar subject line as the Agent Mastermind guys do. So if you click on edit here, then you'll be able to see the email and you can read it. We do sometimes try to come up with our own image to make the email stand out a little bit. And occasionally I'll make some slight tweaks to it if I think that it's a little too wordy, things like that. It just depends on the time that we have to be able to get this in. You'll see that there are multiple register for training links. You can have your own buttons. So I'll create another video on showing you how to modify the actual emails because this one's getting a little long, but you can see that you've got the header is being pulled in, the footer is being pulled in, and then a lot of these database tags. And then this always links back to your actual either your site default domain if you're using the index page, or if you're using if you're on our full version of our system where you've got all kinds of mortgage content in addition to the Agent Mastermind, then the link will be a little different. But we actually add that in based on the system that you're on. So we actually set that up automatically for you. And that's pretty much it for sending an email and finding all the broadcasts. So hopefully this has helped. And if you need any support, please, you can click on this support help tab. You can actually create an account within that support center. You can use the same username and or the same password or a different password for that help center. It's a third-party system that we use, but that allows you to bypass actual email. So you can actually go in there and you can check on your tickets to make sure that the ticket requests have been answered. So hopefully this helps, and have a great day.